Few figures in history have transformed the world as profoundly as Paul the Apostle. Born as Saul of Tarsus, he was once the fiercest enemy of Christianity. Yet, through one life-altering encounter, he became one of its greatest apostles. This is the story of a man whose words still echo across centuries, shaping faith, culture, and history. Saul was born in Tarsus, a city of learning and trade. A devout Jew and a Roman citizen, he studied under Gamaliel, one of the greatest teachers of Jewish law. Fiercely devoted to tradition, Saul saw followers of Jesus as a dangerous threat. With passion and zeal, he hunted them down, convinced he was serving God. But everything changed on the road to Damascus. A blinding light surrounded him, and he fell to the ground. A voice thundered, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" Trembling, blinded, and broken, Saul encountered the risen Christ. That moment would forever change the course of his life. From persecutor to preacher, an apostle chosen to carry the message of Jesus to the nations. It is important to mention that Saul did not change his name to Paul after his conversion. Instead, he always had both names, Saul and Paul, and used the name Paul primarily when ministering to Gentile audiences. As a Jewish Roman citizen, he likely had a Hebrew name, Saul, and a Roman name, Paul, and he chose to use his Roman name to better connect with his non-Jewish audience. Paul's life became a whirlwind of missionary journeys. From Asia Minor to Greece, from synagogues to marketplaces, he preached with boldness. He planted churches, debated philosophers, and endured hardships beyond imagination. Shipwrecks, beatings, imprisonments, none of it stopped him. His mission was clear: to spread the good news of Christ. But Paul's mission also brought him into conflict with even the highest leaders of the church. In Antioch, he openly rebuked Peter. Why? Because Peter had begun withdrawing from Gentile believers, fearing criticism from Jewish Christians who still insisted on circumcision and strict adherence to the law. Paul stood firm, declaring that the gospel was for all people, Jew and Gentile alike, through faith in Christ, and not by works of the law. This bold confrontation showed Paul's unwavering commitment to unity in the church, and his courage to defend the truth, even against the most revered apostles. Beyond his travels, Paul left behind something even more enduring: his letters. Written to fledgling Christian communities, they carried wisdom, encouragement, and instruction. Words that continue to inspire millions to this very day. In one such letter, he wrote, "Dear friend, love must be completely sincere. Hate what is evil, hold on to what is good. Love one another warmly as Christians, and be eager to show respect for one another. Work hard and do not be lazy. Serve the Lord with a heart full of devotion. Let your hope keep you joyful. Be patient with your troubles. And pray at all times. Share your belongings with your needy fellow Christians, and open your homes to strangers. Ask God to bless those who persecute you. Yes, ask Him to bless and not to curse. Be happy with those who are happy. Weep with those who weep. Have the same concern for everyone. Do not be proud, but accept humble duties. Do not think of yourselves as wise. If someone has done you wrong, do not repay him with wrong. Try to do what everyone considers to be good. Do everything possible on your part to live in peace with everybody." But Paul's fearless preaching eventually cost him his life. In AD 64, a great fire swept through Rome, and suspicion fell on Emperor Nero himself. To shift the blame, Nero accused the Christians, unleashing a wave of brutal persecution. As one of the movement's most prominent leaders, Paul was condemned. Because he was a Roman citizen, he was spared crucifixion and sentenced instead to death by the sword. Around the year 67, outside the city walls of Rome along the Ostian Way, Paul was beheaded. Tradition tells us that where his head struck the ground, 3 springs of water miraculously appeared, and his followers later buried him along the Via Ostiensis, where the great Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls now stands. Though his life was cut short, his legacy could not be silenced. His words outlived the empire that condemned him. Paul's story is one of radical transformation. From enemy to evangelist, from persecutor to prisoner, he became a cornerstone of Christianity. Though he was not one of the original 12 apostles who walked with Jesus, his unmatched education and tireless missionary journeys gave him an advantage. Unlike many of the apostles who worked faithfully but left no writings, Paul's words were preserved in his letters, words that form nearly half of the New Testament. Through them, his influence continues to reach across nations and centuries, making him one of the greatest figures in the history of the Christian church. As his life drew to a close, Paul looked back not with regret, but with triumph. He said, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me." If Paul's story inspired you, imagine the countless other moments in history waiting to be discovered. Subscribe to this channel and join us as we bring the past to life, one story at a time.